chat about it. Gives me comfort. No, no, that's not what I. Sooner or later, I'll find my way free. And then I will find you.
Well, should have just killed him, and that way he'd be able to join his family. You joined him in the afterlife. Congratulations.
Been looking all over for you.
You
I thought
didn't check his house?
you might want to talk.
Oh, after credits. Extra. A little bit more comic book accurate.
This will do.
You mean to tell me he got all the? You mean to tell me you went and got the bad? You mean to tell me you got the bad marks? You got the bad marks specifically to fight the good one? And you've been spying on him for months and weeks at a time. And yet you still are just like, yeah, he's the bad guy. Oh, bro, I swear comic book logic sometimes completely overtakes basic human logic. Like, I just can't understand it. I just can't understand it. But Powerplex in himself has gone like way too far. Like, he's basically gotten to the point where he's like, yo, I cannot uh I've gone ahead and done all these bad things specifically to take you down. And these things that have gone down are your fault. The thing in Chicago isn't even Mark's fault. And the bad thing about it is that Powerplex knows that is not Mark's fault. It's not even a situation where he doesn't have the understanding or the knowledge of what specifically happened. He understands what happens. It is that he's looking for someone, anybody, to blame for this situation. And for him, he cannot fathom blaming anybody else for the lives that's been taken, the whether it be his own family's life, whether it be his innocent people, his coworkers, or anything like that. He cannot fathom blaming anybody else. So what he does is he's looking for a big, gigantic tower, a shadow that he can point his finger at and say, this is happening because of you. It's the exact same reason why like Republicans look at like migrants or and they have like horrible things going on in their lives and trials and tribulation that they're going through and the fact that like things are like skyrocketing in price or they can't afford a car, they can't afford houses, they can't afford groceries, eggs, they can't fucking afford eggs. So the best thing that they could do is just find something, anybody to point a finger at and say, these things are happening because of you. My suffering is happening because of you. And the reason that is happening, and the reason why they go and do that thing, is because accountability is hard. It is hard to take responsibility for your own situations, your own trials and tribulations. It's hard to take accountability for the things that you have going in life. Maybe I'm and I don't like a lot of people to know this, but I am also an atheist. And I also feel like that's the reason why a lot of people look at they have to have some type of thing or some type of image to believe in up there and say The devil is the thing that's causing all these horrible things to happen on in my life. And they do that because they need somebody to blame. Somebody has to take responsibility for the things that are going on in my life. It can't be me, because if I were to take responsibility for the things that are going on in my life, I have to sit down, I have to reflect and realize I am the fucking problem. And that's a very hard thing to do. And not a lot of people are able to do that. And Powerplex's tr- biggest trouble is that in his mind, he cannot blame Omni Man. He cannot fight Omni Man. He cannot take the fight to Omni Man. The only person he has there to blame is Mark. The only person he has to blame is Invincible. Invincible is the only thing that is there to stop and protect them against Viltrumites attacking the world. He had Anissa behind him, showing that she is ruthless and perfectly fine with fighting him. So you know that Mark does not agree with their ideology. Ye saw firsthand that Mark went against his father. He went against Viltrumites. He knows Viltrumites are a thing. So if anybody else does not know all the information, it's him. It could be, I would give him the benefit of the doubt if he did not know Viltrumites were a thing. If his only square box that he saw was Mark holding his sister's arm. If he only saw that, boom, I would be perfectly fine agreeing with Powerplex's ideology. But the fact that he knows the full story and still, regardless of having every single piece of evidence brought before him, he still points a finger and says, you caused these troubles. You are the reason for my suffering. You are the reason for my anger, and you are the reason that my wife and my kid are gone. Not the fact that Mark literally tried to save them, or the fact that Mark said, look, I understand the people that you had going on and the things that you trials, the things that you had going on in your family, the people that I've hurt, the people that have been hurt as a result of me attempting to save other people. He's like, why do you get to walk free? Because he has to atone for the people he could not save. The only way that he can atone for the people he could not save is to save twice as many people. That is the reason. And I think it's the whole reason why a lot of people who are in the military uh understand these type of things. They are in the military, but they all obviously also end up becoming like law enforcement on the other side, because their ideology is like, I've killed so many people in wars and situations, Iraq, what have you, blah 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 blah. And I'm now becoming a police officer because I can now save other lives in some type of contrast to what I've basically taken. And I think that's why they put that uh into the show, where Oliver was saying, "Hey, our dad took a large amount of lives, yes, but he also saved a large amount of more lives in the process. So do the he saved 3 times or 10 times as many lives as he took. So shouldn't that like counteract or balance that off in some type of way so people see that he's a good person?" And the answer is no. Even though he's saving people, people are still gonna look at him and need somebody to blame for the lives that were lost. Regardless if he saved so many lives, they still need somebody to blame. It can't be a situation where Powerplex can say, "Yo, he did not was not able to save these people, but he's here defending people. He's here trying to save people. He's here doing everything and anything he can to possibly work it out to where we're the ones that are where he's defending us to make up and help for the lives that were taken. And in his mind, he's like, I want you to experience to atone or have justice. And in his mind, the only way he can have justice is if Mark dies. That's the only way. So Powerplex doesn't see the ideology of, hey, Invincible actually saves tons of different lives. He's saving tons of different amounts of people. Um, like this is exactly what's going on. It's the same issue with Angstrom. Angstrom is so frustrated and pissed off that this one right here is the only good one that he cannot fathom. He can't even possibly fathom that Mark will be doing something good. He is willing to work with the all the other bad versions of Mark. Think about this. He's willing to work with all the bad versions of Mark to take down the one good one because seeing that this one person that Mark that your ideology might actually be wrong is so damn tough to accept because again, accountability is hard. It is so hard to take accountability and reflect onto yourself. And so many people refuse to do it that he would rather work with all the bad versions to take down the one good one, specifically because he does not want to be wrong. And that right there, my friends, is so damn crazy. Like I just don't get it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I don't think that anything that happens bad in my life is a result of anybody else but me. If something bad happened in my life, it's because I was not able to do what I needed to do, or I didn't uh, plan correctly, or I didn't organize myself correctly, or I didn't push myself further enough. None of my negative things or bad things that happen in my life is a result of anybody else but me. And I take accountability to myself and say, all right, I need to be better. Thus is so, blah, blah, blah. And for some people, that is so hard to do. It is so unbelievably hard to do. And Powerplex and Angstrom, I I guarantee you they're probably going to start working together. I don't know whether he's just getting all these versions of Mark together, maybe to show Invincible's like show a negative version of Invincible. Because you would think because he's and Angstrom's been spying on Mark, so he knows that Mark has been saving tons of people. As like he knows that he's been saving tons of people. He's viewed their secret conversations, so he knows that Mark does not agree with his father's ideology. These are things he knows. He sees these good things in this one person. And instead of him saying, you know what, I'm gonna take down every single bad version of Mark till only the good ones are left. He said, no, this bad one has to be bad. There's no way he could be good. There has to be something out there that will show that he's bad. I have to be able to prove it. And in order to do that, I have to work with these bad versions to show that the good one, isn't actually really good. Because my ideology in my head has to be right. It's the same thing with people that are like, oh well, you can't believe in science or you can't believe in like that the earth is circular or like they have to believe that the earth is flat because accepting everybody else's processes or their world views is hard. Mine has to be correct. That's the only option that has to be there. For like I don't know why people think this, but they think that oh well scientists just come up with random shit or they come up with random facts or ideologies when in actuality the whole purpose of the scientific method is that it has to be recreated multiple different times. If it's a situation where someone else cannot exactly create the exact scientific method that I have, then it's not a scientific method. It's not something that's true. It's not something, it's still a hypothesis. It has to be recreated in order for it to be fact by anybody, period. Anybody has to be able to recreate this in order for it to be a fact. But Angstrom and Powerplex's ideology and worldviews are so narrow that they're like this, like, I refuse to believe that you're actually good. I can't believe it, because if you are good, then that makes me bad. Like, and that's just their view ideology. Like, Powerplex has done the unthinkable. He's murdered his kid and his wife, and instead of him reflecting on himself and saying, damn, I really let my anger and my revenge and my inability to take accountability, uh, to cause the death of them. Instead of me listening, talking, having a conversation, and realizing it's not all black and white. And these are things that Mark needs to learn. The same reason why he went after Cecil is because he has to understand not everything is as black and white as you think it is. People think white, black, period. They don't think that there's actually a gray section in the middle where people are not as bad as you think that they are. Like, you're in your own particular world, living your own individual life, and everything else that is happening around you has nothing to do with you. It's just that simple. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed my videos. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. If you have, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe down below. God, this was a long, long discussion. But make sure you like me, love me, and talk to me down below. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.